All right, today we're diving into a book called Dedicated by Pete Davis. And honestly, this book feels like a much-needed guide for the world we're living in right now. It really tackles that modern feeling of anxiety, the one that comes from having way too many choices, and makes this incredible case for finding meaning by going deep, instead of constantly browsing for the next best thing.
Davis starts with something I think we've all done. You know the feeling, right? You decide to watch something, you open up Netflix, and then you just scroll. And you scroll. You watch a few trailers, read some descriptions, and before you know it, a half hour has gone by, you're annoyed, and you just turn it off. Well, he says this isn't just some random quirk. It's a symptom of something much bigger.
He gives it a name, and it's perfect. Infinite browsing mode. It's that state of mind where we're always keeping our options open, absolutely terrified of making the wrong choice, so we just don't choose at all. And this isn't just about movies, right? It bleeds into everything. The jobs we take, the cities we live in, even our relationships.
So, how did we all get stuck here in this endless hallway of options? Well, the book argues it all goes back to a huge cultural shift that's happened over the last couple of generations.
Think about it. For most of history, your life had what Davis calls involuntary commitments. Your path was pretty much laid out for you by your family, where you lived, or what you did for a living. But now, technology and massive social changes have freed us from all that. We have infinite options, and while that sounds great, it's created a whole new kind of anxiety.
Davis says there are basically three big dragons that keep us from committing. First, there's the fear of regret. What if I pick this career and it's the wrong one? What if I waste years of my life? Then you've got the fear of association, that worry about joining a group or a cause that's, messy or imperfect, and what that might say about us. And of course the big one, FOMO, the fear of missing out. That nagging feeling that by choosing this one thing, we're saying no to a million other things that might be even better.
Okay, but the book doesn't just leave us stuck there, which is the good news. It shows us a way out. He calls it the counterculture of commitment.
And at the very heart of this idea are what he calls long-haul heroes. These are the folks who reject that constant chase for something new and shiny, and instead find real, deep meaning in sticking with something. We're talking about people like Fred Rogers, who made almost 900 episodes of his show, or Martin Luther King Jr., who didn't just show up for the big famous marches, but for, as he put it, the 1,000th tedious planning meeting. These are the people who build things that actually last. And this quote just gets right to the core of it. Our culture loves to celebrate the person who gives their life to a cause in one big dramatic moment. But Davis makes the point that it's maybe even more heroic to give your daily life to it. The quiet, unglamorous, day in, day out grind of just showing up and doing the work.
So what can we actually learn from these long-haul heroes? How do we do it? Well, the book boils it down into some really powerful lessons. Let's walk through 5 of the big ones.
Okay, first lesson is a big reality check. We have to get it out of our heads that changing things is like a movie. There's no single bad guy to beat in some epic final battle. Real, meaningful change is slow. It's gradual. It's often invisible. It's what the sociologist Max Weber called the strong and slow boring of hard boards. It takes time.
So if the work is so slow, how do big things ever happen? Well, the folk singer Pete Seeger has this beautiful analogy. Picture a giant seesaw with one side weighed down on the ground. You take a little teaspoon of sand and add it to a basket on the other side. Nothing happens. You do it again. Still nothing. You do this teaspoon by teaspoon for years. And then one day, you add one more tiny teaspoon and the entire thing flips all at once. That's how change works. It's all those little persistent actions adding up over time.
The third lesson comes from the philosopher Immanuel Kant, and it's basically a call to let go of perfectionism. We can't sit around waiting for the perfect group, the perfect cause, or the perfect community to join. It doesn't exist. We have to commit to working with the messy, imperfect, crooked timber of the world exactly as it is, right here and right now.
Oof. This one from Tim Creeder is so powerful, and it's all about vulnerability. Think about it. The best parts of commitment, like real love or a true sense of belonging, they don't come from keeping up some perfect, curated image of ourselves. They come from doing the scary, sometimes mortifying work of letting other people really see us, flaws and all.
And finally, this lesson from Wendell Berry should feel like a huge relief. Commitment doesn't mean you have to solve every problem in the world. No way. It's about finding the small broken things right in front of you, in your neighborhood, in your family, in your own craft, and doing the focused, meaningful work of just putting those two things back together.
So after all that, what's our final take? Let's get to the verdict on Dedicated.
Okay, here's the quick breakdown for you. The book is Dedicated. The author is Pete Davis. It came out in 2021. And it's really a piece of social commentary that feels tailor-made for millennials and Gen Z. Basically, anyone feeling totally overwhelmed by choice and trying to find some real direction in a world that can feel pretty unmoored.
Our feedback on this one is just overwhelmingly positive. I mean, the book does such a great job of putting a name to a feeling so many of us have. It's packed with these really tangible, inspiring stories, and it gives us a whole new vocabulary, words like infinite browsing mode and long-haul heroes, that help us make sense of our own lives.
For its relevance, its clarity, and its really hopeful message, we are giving Dedicated a very, very strong 8.5 out of 10.
And hey, if this topic really sparks something for you, Davis is building on the shoulders of giants here. You might want to check out Zygmunt Bauman's Liquid Modernity. That's kind of the philosophical groundwork for this whole idea. And of course, Barry Schwartz's The Paradox of Choice is the classic book on why having more options can actually make us feel worse.
So what's the single most important thing to take away from all this? It's a paradox, really. We think that keeping all our options open is what freedom looks like, but Davis shows us that's actually a kind of prison. Real freedom isn't the absence of commitment. It's the liberation you feel when you finally choose a path and start walking, discovering all the depth and meaning that just browsing could never give you.
And the book leaves us with this final, beautiful metaphor. In a culture that feels like it's being eroded by constant change, choosing to commit to something is like planting a tree, and one by one, those commitments create roots, and eventually a whole forest can grow where there used to be nothing. And really, that's the challenge the book leaves us with. It asks you to look at your own life, your community, your skills, your passions, and ask yourself, what vacant lot is out there waiting for you to stop browsing and start building?